When time stood still, Taehyung and the Instagram story that enchanted the world. Hello fans. Welcome to BTS fans. Here, every captured moment is not just a visual, it's a living emotional experience. This is not merely a place to deliver updates or observe trends. It is a space for feeling, reflection, and exploring stories that words alone cannot always explain. Today we delve into something that, at first glance, appears simple. A brief Instagram story posted by Kim Taehyung. But in truth, it is far more than a casual post. It is an artistic event. A wordless statement that resonated across the world. A silent moment that spoke louder than thousands of words. A silence that shook the world. In this post, there was no background music. No captions. No lengthy narration from the artist. There was only presence. And that presence became a message. Kim Taehyung stood amidst a natural landscape, not trying to become the center of attention. And yet, in his simplicity, he became the focal point of the world's gaze. His outfit did not scream for attention. The colors were soft, contrasting yet harmonious. The bright blue scarf around his neck hinted at emotional depth, like an ocean, vast and calm. The brown leather jacket exuded strength and warmth. This wasn't about looking fashionable. It was about giving meaning to every element he wore. Movements that required no explanation. In the short video, the wind played a central role. It touched Taehyung's face and moved his slightly messy hair. There were no big gestures. No waves. No effort to capture attention. Just a man standing still, closing his eyes, allowing nature to shape the mood of the moment. His small movements became language. The tilt of his head, the direction of his gaze, the rhythm of his breath, all formed a quiet choreography that didn't need music. In fact, the absence of music made us feel even more, not through sound, but through emotion embedded in every second of visual expression. A face filled with meaning. What made this post extraordinary was not just the visual, but what was behind his expression. There was no wide smile. Yet there was no visible sadness either. What we saw was a reflective calm. A kind of inner contemplation that words cannot describe. Taehyung wasn't speaking to the viewers. He was in conversation with himself. And the attentive observer would realize that we were being invited to witness that process. His eyes weren't trying to sell an image. They were sharing something deeper, a quiet emotion, possibly a burden, or simply a moment of sincere stillness. Details that cannot be ignored. Every detail in his appearance held layered meaning. The small gold knot-shaped earring may seem minor, but its shape hinted at a bond, perhaps a memory, or an emotional tie to something unspoken. The blue scarf was not just an accessory. It symbolized a vast inner world, like the sky, like the sea, a place of refuge for sensitive souls. The way sunlight entered from the side and lit his face added a natural drama. He wasn't standing under artificial lights, but embraced by nature itself. It reminded us that this wasn't a studio shoot, it was a meeting between a person and the world. Taehyung as a living medium of art. In the world of art, there's a concept called a living canvas. That is what Taehyung embodied. He wasn't merely modeling designer clothes. He wasn't just participating in a photo shoot. He became part of the artwork itself. His body, his movements, his silence, all became a narrative medium. What he did with W Korea went far beyond a fashion editorial. This wasn't about selling clothes. It was about conveying feeling. He created a silent theater, where movement was monologue, and atmosphere was the stage. He crafted a visual experience that wasn't just seen, it was felt. A global response. As soon as the post went live, reactions poured in. Online communities buzzed with discussions. Media outlets from around the world covered it, not from a celebrity angle, but from an artistic one. Photographers, fashion stylists, and visual artists analyzed every frame. Fans recreated the scene, not to copy, but to understand. In parks, in quiet corners of cities big and small, people mimic the setting. Not with expensive cameras or designer clothes, but with sincerity and a desire to express something honest. More than a trend. In an industry often defined by noise and pressure, Taehyung showed that personal expression can still be a powerful form of art. He didn't showcase fashion to impress. He wore it to express. He wasn't proving anything. He was simply present. And that presence left a deep resonance. The beginning of a new era. Many now wonder if this is only the beginning. Could this be part of a larger project? A short film? A visual album? Perhaps it is a glimpse into a personal artistic journey he's slowly constructing with care and intention. Whatever it may be, one thing is clear: the world is watching. Not because of gimmicks. Not because of scandal. But because of something rare: authenticity. In a world overwhelmed by constant noise, Taehyung's silence became an oasis. A sincere impact. What Taehyung delivered in that brief Instagram story cannot be translated literally. There was no official statement. No direct message. And yet, the impact was profound. Because emotions do not need explanations. They only need presence. And in that moment, Taehyung was truly present, not as a public figure, not as a celebrity, but as a human being expressing something within. He did not create sensation. He created connection. And perhaps, that is the most honest form of art. If you felt something when watching that story, not just visually, but emotionally, then you became part of something larger. You weren't just watching a video. You weren't just scrolling past another post. You were connecting to a moment, to an emotion, and to a human story that doesn't require words to be understood. This is the power of presence. The kind of presence that BTS's Taehyung embodies so effortlessly. A glance. A pause. A quiet frame. And suddenly, the noise of the world fades. The screen in front of you becomes a window. A portal. Not into a place, but into a feeling. And if your heart stirred, even just a little, that means you didn't just observe. You experienced. In that silence, there was music. In that stillness, a heartbeat. In those quiet frames, there was a symphony of meaning. This is not just fandom. This is not just admiration. This is a shared recognition of beauty that doesn't scream for attention. It simply exists. Gracefully. Silently. Powerfully. When a story, just a few seconds long, can make you feel something real, something unspoken, that's not coincidence. That's art. That's connection. That's the magic of someone who knows how to speak with presence, not noise. So to every soul who paused, who felt, who listened with their heart instead of their ears. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this shared moment. For proving that beauty still lives in simplicity, in authenticity, and in silence. And as always, thank you for joining us here, on BTS Fans. A place where we don't just watch. We feel. Where every moment is more than just a clip. It's a reminder that sometimes, the quietest moments are the ones that echo the loudest in our hearts. Until next time, remember. True beauty doesn't need to shout to be heard. It only needs a